Assalamu alaikum, family. Welcome to the Sajdah channel. You're tuned in. We're going to chat this morning. No, first off, Ramadan Mubarak. For those of us trying to get our last few minutes of liquids in, it's been a glorious fast. We'll talk about that a little bit, and we're going to talk about the frequency of unity. It's going to be a little technical, so y'all going to have to hang in there. But I'll see you in a few. Be a friend and tell a friend, and I'll be right back after a few commercials.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judges, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Peace be unto you. Welcome to the Sajdah channel. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me okay. I've been having some internet challenges since yesterday, and it's not even storming here. I'm feeling like it's going to be a stormy spring. You can see how slow everything is responding. I'm looking a little crazy on the screen, but it's okay. We're going to get through it, because I got something important I want to talk about today. Ramadan Mubarak. How's your fast going? Everybody doing okay? Getting through it, getting up, getting your prayers and your readings in. The beautiful thing about Ramadan is that it just forces us to dial it back and settle down. It really does. Okay. So let's dive right in. Be a friend and tell a friend. I was doing a little light traveling this week, and so I showed a bunch of reruns, and so people may not realize that we're back live today and tomorrow, and inshallah, moving forward. And again, I apologize if the internet is a little unstable. I'm getting a signal from my StreamYard that the connection is unstable, but it's just energy, right? And Allah been working with us on this energy for a minute now. But if it's too bad, you all let me know. Let me know in the chat if it's okay. It's just energy, and we're going to call that energy force and get that internet stable. So I want to talk this morning about unity, algorithms, and social change. Okay. I've been doing a lot of speaking, so there are some people who may not be familiar with our circle here where we talk about life, love, and business, where we wish one another peace. We're supportive. I'm your host, Sajdah Wendy Muhammad. I'm an international business and real estate professional. I'm an artist. Business is my canvas. And I am striving to be in alignment with my creator and what I showed up on the planet to do. We are spiritual entrepreneurs here. I'm a Muslim follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad through the teachings of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. You'll learn interesting things about me and about us on this channel. And so I'm just excited, very, very excited. So once again, Ramadan Mubarak. Today we're going to discuss these algorithms as they relate to changed social behaviors in our community and financial power. There's been a lot of movement lately around boycotting and buying black. It's difficult to get a people to make a move designed to solve a problem before you even help them to see that a problem exists. So I'm happy to see that there's starting to be more narrative around it, and the plan is starting to flush out, and there's more education on the problem. And I want to do my part today by demonstrating some of that. Many people don't know economics, nor do they understand the connection between their behaviors and the financial conditions of their community. Okay. So first I want to talk about a set of instructions or solutions given to us by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. These solutions, rooted in behavioral disciplines, are germane to the economic foundation that we must build. Okay. 6 of them: breaking harmful spending habits. All right. Breaking harmful spending habits. Feel free to put these in the chat. Number 2, pooling our resources. He instructed us that 6 to 8 of us get together, pool our resources, and go into business together. No, he didn't say, go ask the government. He didn't say, go ask the leadership at the mosque. He didn't say, come ask him. He said 6 or 8 of us pool our resources and go into business together. He told us to do for self or suffer the consequences. We should be buying black. And I've added buying. Talked about how in the Arab community, the dollar circulates 46 days. In the Jewish community, it circulates 19 days. And in our community, is 6 hours. And so my question to us that are Black Muslims, Black conscious people, how many times does it circulate among us? Why is that important? You'll find out today when you start to learn a little bit more about conscious entrepreneurship. He told us to stop all this wanton criticism of everything that is Black. We have a tendency to do that. Soon as if we go to a Black restaurant, soon as something is wrong, we say, I'm out of here. I'm done. I can't stand them. I'm going to do a bad review. But you go to that same old nasty little restaurant, you don't know who owns it, over and over and over, and you've been going there for years. So much so that you probably don't even know it's nasty. But stopping all this wanton criticism, stop being so harsh and mean and mad at your people, especially those of us that are out here trying to do something, trying to make a difference. You know, this is new territory for a lot of people, and it's hard. It's not easy. You know, the white man has a 100 or 400-year head start on us in some of these arenas. And he told us to observe those that are successful. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into those because I got a lot to talk about. Those behaviors theoretically sound good. Okay. And many of us will repeat them. Many of us strive to do them. Many of us strive to live our lives like this. I was just at the University of Illinois speaking to the Department of Religion about lived religions. And it's one thing to study a religion. It's another thing to say, okay, I'm gonna kind of fake my way through it. You know, some people like to accept a religion because they want to weaponize it because they know maybe it's something that other people don't like. But to actually settle in and live this is a whole nother game changer. Okay. Not only are these behaviors theoretically sound, okay, but they are mathematically sound. And I'm going to say that again. These behaviors given to us by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and expounded upon in what I call the revelation of the self-improvement study guides by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan are theoretically sound, but they're mathematically sound as well. Oh man, it's so much coming to me. I'm gonna keep going. Much of economics is based upon the translation of behaviors into mathematical formulas and patterns. All right, let me repeat that. Much of economics is based upon the translation of behaviors, meaning what we do, how we spend, where we go to school, where we live, the translation of behaviors into mathematical formulas and patterns. Some of the behaviors are puppeted or orchestrated, okay, and have become cultural norms, especially in our community. Meaning, what do I mean by puppeted and orchestrated? We become so systematized as a people with our behaviors that it's easy to direct us and control us. Now, once those mathematical formulas are developed, a value is attached to the data point. That value can be $1, for example. Once the dollar is attached in the behavioral pattern, can help companies create financial trends, predict trends. It can help the stock market to hedge against certain predictions. It can support actuarial assumptions, which impact your insurance rates and your insurance premiums. This is all from your behaviors. It's why you see these apps like State Farm and Tesla. They have your performance rating when you drive, and they base your premium on whether or not you're following too closely, or you're slamming on the brakes, or you're switching lanes abruptly, or or going over the speed limit. They track that on an app, and your premium goes up or down based on the behaviors that the app detects. Same thing, right? So data is collected around our spending habits, like where we spend money. And understanding this data point can help a big box store like a Target or a Walmart make sales predictions for the holiday season or any other time. They will know based on past historical data when their sales are up, when their sales are down, what you spend on, what you like, what you don't like. So they know how to direct their dollars, okay? And they rely on these patterns. They hire based on these patterns. They price their goods based on these patterns. So if there is a pattern of people from a particular community like ours making major purchases, let's say during the holiday, like they may expect that a particular number of people will respond to advertising of the new Jordan gym shoes. And the algorithm may even give them data on where the community will shop. This is great information because now you can properly plan your shipping, your manufacturing costs. You can understand the ratio between how much you spend on advertising and how much revenue is generated. You can even make a determination on how people respond to colors in an ad. Now, these mathematical patterns I'm referring to is called an algorithmic pattern. Many of us have become somewhat familiar with this since the popularity of social media. So our behaviors are interpreted into data points that are used to build using complex mathematical models and formulas called algorithms. Let me see how much time I got. I got about 10 minutes. Let me try to get this coffee down. Let me know in the chat if y'all doing okay. I see y'all in here. I see Brother Lamont, Brother Ronald. Hey, Mom. Sister Monica. RJ Funches. Sandra D. Hey. Okay. Yes. Contract writing, all of this. Somebody said, Brother Ronald said, contract writing, can you in detail explain the why, the importance between your business associates? Is it necessary? Explain your question a little bit, Brother Ronald, and I'll try to get to it. Can we operate with the handshake negotiation, meaning no paperwork associated with the business transaction? I'll try to remind me to talk about that at the end. Because there's pros and cons to that. And a lot of it, again, depends on behaviors and what happens. If you got to go to court, you're going to need something in writing. If you feel like you and this person have no behavioral issues, they ain't going to sue you. You ain't going to sue them. They're going to perform as expected. You're going to deliver as expected. Then maybe you don't need a contract. I am a firm believer in getting stuff in writing and writing it down, because people change. And it's very, very difficult to predict a person's money psychology. You never know how a person's going to respond to other stimuli in their life, and they may just trip out on you. Sometimes people like the ideal of doing business with you, but then when they meet you, they get jealous and they start tripping, or it's a whole number of things. Some people are very competitive, so they're constantly comparing. So when you get ready to go and do business with them, they're comparing themselves to you. And in my case, this is my calling. This is my ministry. So I'm going to receive revelation that a lot of people may not receive in this space, because it's just something that I believe that Allah has called me to do. And He has blessed me tremendously to solve problems and to do things that were well beyond my intellectual capacity and even resources. So oftentimes when I sit down at the table to do business with somebody, sometimes they get jealous. And they go, you know what? I ain't got to listen to her. I ain't paying attention. Well, good thing we got something in writing. Okay. I would encourage you to get things in writing. All right. Okay. Let's go back to this. In economics, an algorithm define this. An algorithm refers to a set of precise instructions or rules, often implemented through computer programs used to automate decision-making processes, particularly in areas like pricing, trading, and resource allocation, essentially allowing for rapid calculations and optimized outcomes based on specific parameters and data analysis. Essentially, it's a computational method to solve economic problems efficiently. And today, it's almost all automated. Okay. Here's some key points I want you to take away from regarding algorithms in economics as we develop this point. Algorithms are used in automated trading. Okay. So one example of automated algorithmic trading is where a computer program executes trades based on predefined rules, reacting to market changes much faster than human traders can. So you can program a trading system on when to invest, on what things to look for, what risk factors are important or not important. And the computer will trade, meaning buy and sell stocks and bonds and other securities as a result of that automation. You can use an algorithm for market optimization. So algorithms can be used to optimize pricing strategies by companies for companies by analyzing demand patterns and adjusting prices accordingly. So we talked about that with the big box companies, right? So they can create an algorithm that will say to them, in this community, put this on sale at this time. In that community, put that on sale. In a particular community, here's what your hours need to be. There's all kinds of behavioral algorithms that you can create that can drive market optimization and optimize sales. It can do what they call a matching. So algorithms can be designed to efficiently match buyers and sellers in markets like online marketplaces or organ donation system. For example, like geofencing. We were using geofencing at the hospital. So when you drove past us, if you had ever Googled leg pain, leg swelling, cardiovascular disease, certain tags that we put in there, that when you got within a certain mile radius of our facility, then your computer would give you either a coupon or an alert, right? And it would match our facility with people who had searched for those tags on the computer or watched a particular show. So we would get people, especially a lot of the elderly, would come in and say, Jesus told me to come here. And I'm up here explaining because I don't want to be deceptive. I'm like, no, it wasn't Jesus. It's called geofencing. Or you may buy something. I was at Dick's Sporting Goods one time. I bought some gym shoes. And when I came out, every time I drove past that particular sporting goods store, they were sending me coupons for things in the store. So it's a matching mechanism. You can also use an algorithm for data analysis. Okay, so you can identify patterns, trends, and then it can help you put together economic decisions and just decision making. So you may be thinking about how what appeared to be an instruction by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad given to us by him, which we limited to a social response. So he gave us those instructions and we didn't think about the algorithm that it was affecting. It was so ahead of its time that we weren't even thinking like that. And we limited it to a social response. And we limited it to whether or not we felt like doing it. Like, you know what? I don't like her. I ain't finna pool no resources with her. I don't like him. I ain't gonna shop with him. But we didn't realize that these instructions that he gave us can have, 1 minute. Put that over there so we don't accidentally grab it. All right, Ramadan Mubarak. So we didn't realize that by following those instructions that we were impacting or having an economic impact on the world. So by now, it's no secret that we are the largest collective of consumers in the world. Did y'all know that? The Black community's annual purchasing power is estimated to be around $1.3 trillion, and it's expected to increase to $1.7 trillion by 2030. There's some conversations around that, but I'm not going to go there. Black consumers are a key driver of trends in fashion, accessories, beauty products, groceries, you name it. Advertising, some of the softer products and services, most of which are based upon the culture that we create. The social behavior patterns of the Black community are a data gold mine for businesses who likely rely on predicted behaviors captured mathematically in these algorithms. Social behaviors significantly impact economics by doing what? Social behaviors. I'm talking about social behaviors. I'm talking about where you go, where you spend, how you dance, how you sing, how you hang out, what you wear, how you vibe, and your whole culture that impacts you socially. And this is interesting, right? Because they can either make us a monolith or they can realize that we also have a lot of subcultures within our community, most of which are untapped, but that's a whole nother story. So these social behaviors, okay, y'all understand what social behaviors are. They significantly impact economics by influencing consumer choices investment decisions, labor market dynamics, and the overall economic growth factors like social norms, peer pressure, social status seeking, and the structure of social networks, essentially shaping how individuals make economic decisions based on their social environment and the expectations of those around them. All right. This can be used for good and for evil. Let's talk about some of these social behaviors so you get a better understanding of it and you understand how we can impact a market when we follow certain instructions. Okay. There are some key social behaviors. Consumer behavior. Okay. People are more likely to buy products or services that are popular within their social group, leading to trends and influencing market demand based on social perception and peer pressure. So since we control styles and accessories, we also control consumer behaviors, because what becomes popular among us in our community tends to become the best sellers around the world. This is how much power we have. Other social behaviors that affect economics are the social norms and values. So societal norms regarding savings, spending, risk-taking can directly impact economic decisions, with individuals conforming to what is considered acceptable behavior within their community. So if you're not shopping, or if you are shopping, if you're saving, or if you're not saving, if you're taking risks, or you're not taking risks, all of this has a direct impact on the economic decisions of the collective community and ultimately the world. And since we are the number one consumer, data regarding our social norms and values is very closely tracked. Okay. Here's another behavior. If you are social status seeking, the desire to maintain or improve social status can drive consumption choices towards luxury goods and specific brands, affecting market dynamics. We are very social and status seeking people. There was a video that came out in the 50s or 60s where there was a white advertiser explaining to business people how to sell to the Negro. Said, make him feel special. Give him the best of the best. We like good things. We like nice things. We like quality things. And because people know that, it can be used to drive sales towards certain luxury goods or high-end items. Okay. Your social network also impacts economics. So the connections individuals have within their social network can influence job opportunities, investment decisions, and information sharing about products and services. Okay. If you trust and cooperate with a company, that affects economic decisions. High levels of social trust within a community can facilitate economic activity by encouraging collaboration and investment in long-term projects. So if before they put that Starbucks or that Home Depot or that Whole Foods or whatever in your neighborhood, they want to make sure that you're going to trust and cooperate with that store. If they don't see trust and cooperation, they will not put the store there or they'll close it down. Yes, they look for high density areas and things like that. But if they can't be certain that your behaviors are going to lean towards you buying from that particular store, it will not go up in your neighborhood. So a lot of times we say, man, I think about like the area of like Bronzeville, for example. In Bronzeville, we don't have a lot of Bronzeville, Chicago. We don't have a lot of commercial based stores. A lot of that is because these big box stores don't necessarily have the confidence that we're going to go to those stores. The key thing, though, is we don't need more big box stores. We need more community-based stores, community-owned and people owned by people in the community and other Black people. And we need us to go and change our behavior so we go and shop there. So when we're telling people boycott Target, boycott Walmart, boycott this place or that place, and I'm not telling you what to do one way or another, but what I am saying is if you're going to do that, then you got to put up a list of saying, okay, instead of getting your toilet paper over here, here's a black store where you can go get it. Instead of purchasing this product over here, here's another place where you can go get it. So we got to drive the dollars somewhere else instead of just saying, don't go here. It's going to be very difficult to change people's behaviors, because when they're in survival mode and they feel like they need something, and a lot of people have money psychology and emotions attached to things that they need, they may not necessarily stop going to that store. They may stop on a particular day, but then they may just go on the weekend, or they may just go next week. What we have to do is redirect the dollars and say, look, Sister Sajdah got a toilet paper shop. Brother so-and-so got he sells fresh juices, or you could get fresh produce over here. We got to redirect and give people alternative places where they can buy these goods and where they can get these services, as opposed to just saying, don't shop here. Because the powers that be that study the behaviors, they know that it may just be a blip in sales, but when they see how you're moving and that you're not giving an alternative list and you're not educating people on how important it is, technically, like we're doing here on our platform, then you're not going to redirect behaviors. And they know that because they've done all kind of studies to determine our behaviors. Okay. Now, the algorithm is tracking historical behavior patterns. So if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is instructing us that 6 to 8 of us should get together and pool our resources and go into business with ourselves, how does this small aspect of unity impact the existing algorithms that may affect banking predictions, products and services that are introduced into our community, and more? So if predictions are being made based upon the assumption that we will never unite, then how do you think our unity around a particular issue or subject will impact those economic predictions? It'll impact it significantly, and it doesn't take all of us. See, here's another mistake that we make. Black people are not a monolith, okay? I say all the time that the Black Muslim community, this Black conscious community in this Pan-Africanist Nation of Islam diaspora, this group of consumers, we buy and behave and move a certain way. And we should be the people that you come to do business with, because it's a certain way we move. It's a certain way we conduct ourselves. It's a certain investment worthiness among us. It costs money to be conscious or to be a Muslim and be mindful of your social behaviors in this world today. I give this example all the time, but I'm going to stop for a minute and give this example. It costs money to independently educate your children. Most Muslims, most conscious Black people have children in independent educational systems. It costs money. So when you're sitting up there thinking that we ain't got no money, you're sadly mistaken. It costs money to say, I'm going to eat kosher, halal, I'm going to eat fresh vegetables. It's much cheaper to be undisciplined, pull up in your local fast food 2-3 times a day. It's cheaper to be, and I don't want to insult anybody, but it's cheaper to just be chunky and fat and not care. But if you care about your health, you have certain types of doctors you go to. You go and get facials. You go and you eat certain things. You're paying attention. You use supplements and herbs to manage things like your weight and your health. This all requires money. So we're not a broke group of people. We poor righteous because of the knowledge and the overall economic wealth that we have. But in terms of consumer spending, you need to be investing in us and you need to be doing business with us. This goes to even the Black people out here that are working for these major companies who have sent you into our communities to be ambassadors, you're talking to the wrong people. You're not talking to the influencers. You need to come have a conversation with us. You need to have us on your business advisory boards. You need to have us helping you with strategies, because we're already doing it. We've been doing it. We wear custom clothing. Listen, I could go on and on about that. Now, let's talk about how social influence affects the economy. Social factors, give me a thumbs up if y'all doing okay, because I'm just talking and rambling. I'm full with this subject today, and I haven't been checking in on y'all. So give me a thumbs up if y'all okay, or if you have any questions. Let's talk about how social influence affects our economy, or the economy. Social factors are influenced by the people who use the business. Any changes in lifestyle, opinions, or what consumers who purchase goods or services require, desire, or choose can affect the success of a business. Social economics, also known as socioeconomics, is the social science and branch of economics that studies the interrelation between economic activity and social behavior. Social economics analyzes how the economy is affected by social norms, ethics, sentiments, and other factors. Now, I want to talk about socioeconomics a little bit really quickly as a sidebar from my notes, because this is an important concept. Many people who are stagnant and undisciplined in their thinking do not respect and acknowledge the socioeconomic evolution of other people. I'll give you an example. Anybody who knew me when I was in my 20s knew that I didn't have much. Okay. My boss back then, Brother Kamal, used to tease me because I just ate broccoli all the time. And he said, like a hula hoop with a Cheerio. But it was in the making for me to gain and acquire wealth and to continue to be able to contribute to my community. Not only, oftentimes when we see a person in a certain socioeconomic setting, we don't pay attention to their educational background. So when I was walking around broke, nobody knew how my parents had sewed into me business and economics and finance. Nobody knew that. So when I started working and discovering my authenticity and going deeper into who I am, now I discover, man, I'm really good at business. I know how to do this. I know how to put this together. I can go and work as a consultant and as a developer. And I deliberately chose a career that would accelerate my growth and development. So I'm not that same person that was eating broccoli, only had a couple pieces of broccoli to eat a day. Why? Because of the continual discipline and consistency of growth and development. I study every single day. I study or my spiritual lessons, and I also study business and science so that I can go into that space and understand intuitively. I call it going space of revelation, where I go beyond my intellectual capacity. The courses I took in college, I was very deliberate. I hate to say this because sometimes I'll say, well, I thought this, but I didn't necessarily think it. It came to me, I owned it, and I moved out on it, but Allah is in charge and is always in charge. Let me get going, because I'm gonna go down another road if I don't. So with all that in mind, and with the consideration for how much money is at stake, do you find it a bit easier to believe that the information we are being fed, like that impacts our emotions, decision-making, our views, our opinions, could easily be being manipulated? Let me know in the chat, yes or no. There would certainly be motive for an unethical person or an unethical company or an unethical institution or an unethical politician to do so. Control is an institutional tactic, okay, often used to help predict behaviors and manufacture certain desired results. I got a whole another talk I'm going to do about using control in an organizational structure and what it does to the creativity. So controlling the thoughts of a consumer refers to the practice of strategically influencing a consumer's decision-making process by manipulating their perceptions, emotions, and subconscious through marketing techniques, often by using subtle messaging, design cues, and psychological triggers to guide their thinking towards a desired outcome, like purchasing a specific product or service. This is considered ethically questionable as it aims to influence the choices without fully informing the consumer of the manipulative tactics being used. This is why when people use psychological operations, it just burns my soul, because you're influencing people using psych op tactics, and they don't even know. Sometimes what they do is the threat of loss, the threat of property, the threat of losing your freedom, or even social networks is often used to maintain economic control. All right. So if you think that somebody's going to harm you physically, if you think they're going to take your property, if you think they're going to take away some of your rights, or if you think that you're going to be put away or put out of a certain community, then you will submit to certain unethical controls, and we want to work on that. Okay. Here's some key points about controlling consumer thoughts. There's subconscious influence. So sometimes marketers often try to reach the subconscious mind by using subtle visual cues, repetitive messaging, and emotional appeals to create positive associations with a brand or product without the consumer fully realizing it. Subconscious influence is used all the time on social media. Why? Because they want you to believe a lie. And so they just keep repeating it and keep changing it up and massaging it. And then you turn on the news and there's 8 people on a panel talking about this one thing. And then you really think that this propaganda is real. You think it's news, but it's not. It's just subconscious. It's just the tactic of subconscious influence being deployed to influence you. Okay. Then there's neuromarketing. This field utilizes neuroscience to study brain responses to marketing stimuli, allowing companies to design campaigns that directly target specific emotional and cognitive pathways in the consumer's brain. I took a neuro-linguistic programming course, and I got a certification. So when I went and got certification in emotional intelligence, I also got a certification in neuro-linguistic programming. And this is something that is used often in advertising, okay, where they impact your emotions and certain cognitive pathways in your brain. And it's almost like breaking someone open and then reprogramming them to support their cause or buy something or to behave in a way that they want you to behave. Okay. Social proof is another tactic, leveraging the power of peer influence by showcasing positive reviews, right? Testimonies, popularity to create a sense of social pressure. A lot of us, before we buy something, we look at social proof. So we look at the reviews. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes they fake, right? So social proof is used. There's another technique called anchoring bias, where you set a high initial price and then offering a seemingly discounted price to make the consumer perceive that you've given them a better deal. So you anchor them on the higher price. Then you come back and say, well, but now it's 50% off, right? We've all fallen victim to that. There's the scarcity principle that is used, where you create a sense of urgency by highlighting limited availability of a product to encourage immediate purchase. Okay. So all of these have ethical considerations. Okay. Exploiting people's vulnerabilities, transparency issues, and all of that. All right. Now, last few points here. Let's see if you guys have any questions. Yes, yes, that is correct, sis. Mm-hmm. Sis said, she said, Sister Nala said, like Ozempic. Yep, creating a high price point. Now, the economic power of unity refers to the idea that when a society, community, or group of nations come together with a shared economic vision and cooperate, they can achieve greater economic prosperity through increased collaboration, efficient resource allocation, and a larger market reach. I'm gonna say this again, but I want to say this in terms of us. Our economic power of unity, okay? Our community, when we unite economically. I see Sister Nala in the chat. If I got to send somebody over for a dinner, I send them to my sister's restaurant. If I say, okay, I need to cater something, I tell somebody, look, call my sister. Why? Because I want the money to stay within the community and I want to see her be blessed, as opposed to me going somewhere else and blessing somebody else who don't really care about me and who may not put the love, concern, and care and authenticity in the food that I know that my sister does. It's just a small example, but it's big in impact. And you never know that by you saying, okay, I'm going to send 10 people to my sister's restaurant, that may help her make her payroll that week, and everything else is gravy. You'd be surprised at how you can impact a small business just by directing business towards them. Okay. So when we unite economically, okay, with a shared economic vision and we cooperate, we're going to achieve greater economic prosperity through increased collaboration, efficient resource allocation. So meaning that if there are resources that we need to allocate amongst each other, we can do it more efficiently when we're united and we have a system. We can expand our market reach because I may be able to reach people that my brother or sister can't, or vice versa. It can lead to better overall growth and development for everybody. Okay. Working together as one unit can yield more economic benefits than individuals acting alone. Okay. And in a case like ours, this economic unity can have a supernatural impact. Unity is our superpower. It is a supernatural impact. Even a small group of individuals. Now, unity don't mean uniformity. We ain't got to all be alike. We don't have to all look alike. You can take a small group of people, like the small 50,000 people who came over from Europe and started America. Even a small group of individuals can have a material impact if the right plan of action is executed. Okay. Last thing I want to tell you all is the key aspects. Let's go deeper into the key aspects of the economic power of unity. Increased trade and market access. This is an economic impact of the power of unity. Increased trade and market access. When we collaborate, we can create larger markets for goods and services, leading to increased trade opportunities and potential for economies. Okay. Second thing, the economic power of unity. Improved resource allocation. And I just said that earlier. By working together, we can better utilize our individual strengths and resources and optimize production and minimize waste. So when we pool our resources, I might be good at business, but you might be better at that niche thing called marketing or outreach. So I come in, I can put it together and tell you how to lay it out, but then we bring in somebody else. We may have to trade and barter. You may say, hey, you know what? I'm good at plumbing. So Sister Sajdah, I'll come finish the bathrooms at Sajdah House if you help me build my plumbing business. Boom. Look at that. We accomplished what we needed without actually having the resources to go and do it. This is how we have to start thinking. Okay. We have to think about how our economic unity impacts our ability to be innovative and to share knowledge. Because these collaborative environments we're talking about creating help to foster greater innovation. We're going to be sharing ideas and expertise across borders. We're going to be having events this summer at the Elijah Muhammad House Museum, where we are focused on these types of economic unity activities. And the first thing we started during Savior's Day is just getting together so we see each other and we know each other. Hey, how you doing? Assalamu alaikum. What do you do? Well, here's my card. This is what I do. Oh, you know what? Somebody may say, you know what? I sell bicycles. Oh, you know what? My children, we were just about to go to Target and buy some bicycles. We're going to come to your store and get them. You see how that works? Innovation and knowledge sharing. We can create a network where we're improving and innovating and sharing knowledge. It's going to make us more stable and give us a little bit more predictability. Okay. A united economic front can create a more stable and predictable environment for investments, for encouraging businesses to engage in long-term planning. It actually will address the inequalities that we are fussing and crying about. Economic unity can be used to promote fair distribution of wealth, access to opportunities, and we can mitigate some of the disparities within our community. Okay, this is not new. You have countries who have done trade blocks, like the regional trade agreements like the European Union or NAFTA created larger economic zones with reduced trade barriers, facilitating greater economic integration. They gave their economy a boost sometimes by doing trade blocks. You can do international development partnerships, community development initiatives, all of that. A superpower. I say unity is our superpower. It's an extraordinary ability that's beyond what is normal. We don't have to wait until somebody else calls it a superpower. Let's do what is beyond normal. Let's shake up the algorithm. See, because those companies are banking on you behaving the way you have always behaved. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that our unity would be more powerful than a nuclear or atomic bomb. Yeah, we're going to do that on, yes. Okay, I'm going to call you, sis. I like that idea. I'm going to call you. I really like that. Okay, any questions about what we talked today? I know it was a lot, and I had to talk fast to get it out, but I want you to understand how powerful our father, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan are our fathers. I want you to understand how powerful they are. In the Black community, it's important that we understand, yes, let me tell you something. See, you cannot fathom the depths of Satan. Do you know there's companies out here who understand the economic climate that we're in that will tell certain Black influencers, start a boycott, start a revolt around this particular thing, and drive people to my store. Start a rumor about so-and-so, so-and-so. Tell a lie on them. And then it'll make them buy from my man, my people. See, we've fallen victim to this stuff because we don't understand how it works. Once you get the knowledge, let me tell you something what's so powerful about it. Once you get the knowledge, you go back and listen to this show again. Once you pay attention to this, you will get certain professional intuition and you'll be able to see it happening even before it happens. I do need to create a workbook, sis, and I am actually working on that. Thank you, Sister Nala. I got two things. I got a curriculum that I'm working on, but this whole book, the workbook, I got a new book I'm working on that's got a workbook with it. And to be honest with you, I'm getting better at talking about things that I know that I've experienced and that I've been blessed to learn over my years as a corporate professional, that oftentimes, and this is something that we got to get over as Black professionals, a lot of times I don't want to seem like I know it all. I can look at an organization and tell exactly what the problem is and what's going on. Not because I'm so all of that or so special, but because I've been trained to do it. So when we would go into companies, we got a limited amount of time to analyze, to strategize, and put it down in writing and give it to them and then get up out of there. Okay. And so I can go into an organization, whether it's a church, a mosque, a synagogue, a sorority, a restaurant, a hospital. Generally, I can read the corporate culture. I can tell you where the problems are, but it becomes a challenge sometimes when we're around people who don't really get that. And coming out of corporate, well, let me say this. With what's going on in government, the Black professional is now being radicalized. And we're starting to speak up and talk about what we know. But there's enough of us in our community that we can run things, put things together, put us on your boards, put us on your advisory levels. You got to pay us. You can't just be saying, come over here for free and do all of this. Got to be some kind of trade and bartering going on, right? All right, family. So I think we got a lot of information out today. If you don't have any questions, please stay tuned. Support the network. Go to Cash App, Sajdah Enterprises. If you say you don't want to go to Cash App, Sajdah Enterprises, you can go to Zelle. I got it all going across the bottom here. It's important that we support platforms like this because we get shadow banned. They take it down. They don't monetize it, distribute it oftentimes because it's information that I know that I'm giving that are trade secrets to the economic powers that be, the things that they don't want you to know. And so since they don't want you to know it, they'll shadow ban the platform. If I get on here and twerk and talk about certain things, then they'll play it. they'll let you hear about it. So it's important that we make these things go viral within our communities, within our circles, and that we support one another. And anything you all know about me, I'm always about whoever I can support in our community and whatever I can do, whether I can send you business, make a donation. We're just asking that you give back to this platform. We've got some financial literacy day camps for children coming up that we're going to be doing. We've got some training that we're going to be doing for people who are investors and advisors and insurance. So some train the trainer type of things coming up. We've got some Mind of an Entrepreneur mastermind classes and dinners coming up. So I just want you to stay tuned because I paid for all this with my blood, sweat, and tears. I've starved and bled and fell down and busted my knee and hurt my hip and all kind of stuff for this information, for this experience. And I don't want you to have to go through that. And I'm sincere in that. I'm honest in that. So yes, Ramadan Mubarak. I'm going to give you a call, Sister Nala, so we can talk about iftar. And we go from there. No questions, then I guess we're good. Please support Sajdah House. We are very, very close to being done. If you came during Savior's Day and volunteered, you should have received your gift from me now. Y'all know I'm a big gift giver. I just love giving people stuff and sending people stuff. So you should have a surprise gift in the mail from me if you were one of our volunteers. But I thank each and every one of you who came out. We had close to 500 people that came through the house, and I think we turned away another couple hundred. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm very, very grateful for that. We didn't charge a lot because we knew that in the spirit of Savior's Day, people were spending a lot of money just traveling, and there's registration and you got to eat, and it was a lot. So we only charged $25 for the tour. So obviously we weren't in the mood, the mindset of let's just try to raise a bunch of money. Somebody told me, they said, oh, you made all that money during Savior's Day. And I was like, do the math. Okay. 400 or 500 people times $25 is not all that money. And we had staff, we had things we had to do to prepare and get ready for you. But we're not worried about the negative people. We're going to keep flowing, keep going, because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told me that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us a world. And in a world, you have all the economic resources that you need. And we have each other. And I'm just a big proponent of us uniting and supporting and doing something for one another. So thank you all. Shout out to the Chicago Tribune who put us on the front cover. Shout out to the Final Call newspaper who put us in there. We're very grateful. I know that oftentimes value is not attached to historic preservation. And people go into why her and why not me, and they get to tripping, and so they don't want to give. But to those of you who are more mature than that, thank you. I appreciate each and every one of us, each and every one of you. And I just want us to live better, do better, be happier, healthier, wealthier, experiencing more love in our lives. All right, family. Okay, I'm going to go. Y'all don't got no questions. I was trying to stall it out waiting for you, but check out our virtual gift shop. I'm working on some more products and gifts too. And we do have a few things left as well. All right, I'll see you all soon. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be talking about the frequency of revelation. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm one of these persons that receives a lot of downloads from the universe, and everybody receives downloads from the universe, but I in particular take time to write those downloads down or record them. It's a habit that I've had, and so I have some notes on the frequency of revelation in my Ramadan notebook that I want to share with you all tomorrow morning, right here, 6 a.m. Central Time on the Sajdah channel. All right, peace and blessings, family.